We're on the third roster update of NBA 2K25. What 2K does is every 2 weeks they get all the players that are doing better and worse and change the ratings based off their play. We're really getting into the part of the year where players are starting to really show their game, and we're getting a clearer picture of which teams are the best and which ones are the worst. Que pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. If you like NBA 2K25 news, ratings, and rosters, please join the pack and subscribe. I do it every year. Let's go. We start off with the Philadelphia 76ers, as I always do. Usually I have good things to say about this team, but lately it's only been bad things. Paul George, -2. Jared McCain, -1. Gershon, +1. Kenyon Martin, +1. And Reggie Jackson, +1. This team has been on a nose dive this season. In fairness, Embiid was injured for most of it, Paul George was injured for most of it, and Tyrese Maxey was injured for a part of it. But they're all back now, right? The rookie McCain looks really good. Maybe they can make it work now that everybody is healthy. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, +1, 98 overall. This makes him tied as the best player in the NBA. I disagree, not because of Giannis, but because of someone else we'll talk about later. Damian Lillard, +2. I said last roster update there was no reason to downgrade him, and I was right. In fact, the Milwaukee Bucks are looking a lot better lately. Who knows? They could make a serious push later in this year. Brook Lopez, +2, and Bobby Portis, +1. These were the two guys that there was question marks of would they get back to where they were a couple years ago. It's looking like that could be the case. For the Bulls, Kobe White, -1. Josh Giddey, back to the 80 overall club, +1. Ayo, +1. And then finally, Torrey Craig, +2. A lot of positives for the Bulls besides Kobe White. That being said, there's no guarantee this team is going to make the playoffs. For the best team record-wise in the NBA, the Cavs, the only change is Ty Jerome, +1. This makes him tied as the 5th best player on the team, tied as the 5th best player on the best team in basketball. That's kind of cool. If you looked at his stats last year, you would have never thought that. For the Celtics, all we have is Drew Holiday with a -1, which I kind of disagree with because he's been getting a couple downgrades lately, but I kind of don't agree. And Peyton Pritchard, +1, 82 overall, highest he has ever been. For the Clippers, we have James Harden, +2. He is the best player on this team because Kawhi's been injured. Chris Dunn goes -1, and then Jordan Miller goes +4. So huge upgrade for Jordan Miller. The Clippers are somehow winning games despite the injuries and loss of talent since last year, and yet they thrive. Speaking of thriving, the Grizzlies, bro, this team just wins games. Ja Morant, +1. I told you guys when they made him a 90, I was like, he is not going to be a 90 by the end of the year. This dude's going to go up. We know how good Ja Morant is when healthy. Marcus Smart, +2. His first upgrade in like 2 years. Desmond Bane, -3. I always think it's unfair because he's coming back from injury, but he got -3. Scottie Pippen Jr., +2. Santi Aldama, +1. Jalen Wells, a rookie, +2. One of the highest rated rookies by far. Brandon Clark, +1. And then Jake LaRavia, +1. Upgrades all over the place because the Grizzlies are good. For Atlanta, we have Trae Young, +1. Jalen Johnson, +2. I felt this was a long time coming. He's needed an upgrade. Dyson Daniels, -1. DeAndre Hunter, +1. Clint Capella, +1. Okongwu goes +1. And then Bogdanovich, +1. This team has tons of 80 overall club members and are doing a lot better than expected. Quick for Miami, Jimmy Butler, +1. Best player on Miami again. Hayward Highsmith, -1. That's really it for the Heat. No upgrade for LaMelo Ball. I disagree. I think he's by far 90 overall club member, but we'll get there. Brandon Miller, +1. Because of LaMelo Ball's absence, he has been playing out of his mind. Cody Martin, +1. And then Diabate, +4. Major upgrade for him. For the Utah Jazz, we have John Collins, +1. You know, I was going to say earlier in the year that I feel like he's been the best player on the Jazz this season, but I didn't have the balls to say it because I knew y'all would get mad if, you know, because Larry Markkanen's a great player. I didn't want y'all to get mad, but here we are. They are tied as the best player. I'm surprised we're here. Walker Kessler, +1. Colin Sexton, +1. And then Bryce, +3. Major upgrades for a lot of guys in like the 72 overall club. They're like going up, I noticed. The Kings. Oh, man. We have De'Aaron Fox, -1. We have DeMar, -1. Malik Monk, +2. Keegan Murray, -2. Kevin Huerter, -2. Trey Lyles, -2. But then Isaac Jones goes +4. yeah, this team is not doing as good as they probably were expected to do. There needs to be some changes if they want to be a championship level roster, because they have the talent. They should be winning. Speaking of having the talent, the Knicks, Karl-Anthony Towns +1. Now they're tied as the best player on the team with Jalen Brunson. Shocker. Josh Hart +1, and then Miles McBride, who has stepped up, +1 as well. This team is in dire need of Mitchell Robinson to come back, but regardless, they're a good team. The Lakers, LeBron, another -1 again. For the first time in a year, someone is a higher rating than LeBron on the same team, and it's probably going to continue like this throughout the year. In terms of stats, we are seeing a slowdown of LeBron James's production. I've never said those words out loud. D'Lo gets a +1, but this team is gonna need to do better if they want to start winning games. Oh man, the Magic. You got Franz Wagner and Paolo now out, but Franz Wagner got in a +1 because he was playing so well, replacing Paolo. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope +1, Goga +1. Mo Wagner +1. I wonder who's going to be the player on this team that steps up now that both Franz and Paolo are out. The Mavericks are good again, dude. PJ Washington +1. Najee Marshall +3. Klay Thompson goes -1. Actually, that's a surprise to me. Quentin Grimes +4. And then Spencer Dinwiddie +2. I forget sometimes that how stacked the Mavericks are. Imagine what we were talking about just a year and a half ago to now. What a change of a roster for the Mavericks. For the Nets, Dennis Schroeder +1. Cam Johnson +1. Trendon Watford +1. Noah Clowney +1. We have Shake Milton +2. Shake Milton, rare appearance in a roster update. When is the last time this has happened? And then Tyrese Martin +5, the most upgraded player in this roster update. The new best player on the team is Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson until Cam Thomas comes back. The only change for the Denver Nuggets is Russell Westbrook +2, back to the 80 overall club in quite some time. That being said, this team is actually losing games. Their talent level just wasn't where it was a couple years ago, and I feel like the rest of the league got a lot better. Nikola Jokic is putting up historic games, and they're losing. My take, and I still feel strongly, is that I do think Nikola Jokic is a 99 overall, regardless of the record, because it's not really his fault. He's putting up generational numbers right now. For the Pacers, Miles Turner goes -1. TJ McConnell +1, and then Jarris Walker -1. Very minor changes for the Pacers. For the Pelicans, just downgrades. We have Brandon Ingram -1 and now hurt. We have DeJounte Murray -2. We have Missy, the rookie, goes +2. One of the highest rated rookies as well. Jordan Hawkins, also injured, -1. And Javonte Green +1. This team is cooked injuries-wise. The Pistons, who look so much better this year. Jaden Ivey +1. We have Malik Beasley +2. Dang. What he was doing on Milwaukee and the Lakers, and there was question marks about whether or not he was good anymore, and then now is so funny. Thompson -1. Tim Hardaway Jr. -1. Sasser +2, and then Wendell Moore Jr. +3. Good for the Pistons. It seems like they have something good going for the first time since I've been doing roster updates. Tons of changes for the Raptors. Scotty Barnes +1, now tied as the best player with RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett +2, now tied as the best player on the team with Scotty Barnes. Jakob Poeltl +2. Yeah, deserving. He's been amazing. Grady Dick -1. Slowed down, but he's still playing well. Those are the major changes for this team. Good for them. I still don't know if they'll make the playoffs, though. The Rockets, who have been lights out this year. Jalen Green -1. That puts him tied as the second best player with Fred VanVleet. We have Fred VanVleet, goes +1. Amen Thompson +1. Jabari Smith Jr. +1. And Dylan Brooks +1. Tons of 80 overall club members for the Rockets. They are good this year. The Spurs, Wemby +1, absolutely. Devin Vassell +1, absolutely. Harrison Barnes +1. Stephon Castle +4, absolutely. He's been on fire. Julian Champagnie +2. Malachi Branham -2. Agree. I don't know why he got a +2 in the first place. Trey Jones -2. Mamu +1. And then Charles Bassey goes +3. Crazy. Tons of changes for the Spurs. I still think that Sohan is a lot higher than a 78. That's a personal opinion. Overall, pretty good rating. One change for the Suns, and that's Tyus Jones +1, 80 overall club member, deserving. OKC, who have been playing good even without Chet Holmgren, and this is why. Isaiah Hartenstein +4. Yeah, crazy upgrade for Hartenstein. Lou Dort goes -1, but Jalen Williams goes +1. We have Aaron Wiggins -1, Cason Wallace +1, and Kenrich Williams +2. Overall, great team that you have. I mean, assuming Chet Holmgren comes back at that level where he was at, which was basically like a 90 overall club member with Hartenstein, that's scary. Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards -1, Naj Reid -2, and I argue that maybe he should have got more. He's been playing very poorly. Mike Conley +1, sure, and then Dante DiVincenzo -2. The fall off for him has been crazy this year. For the Blazers, DeAndre Ayton, now the best player on the Blazers, +1. You have Anthony Simons +1. You have Denny Avdija +2, 80 overall club member now. Overall, no major changes. No Shaedon Sharpe change was surprising because he's been the best player in my opinion, but overall, decent changes. The Warriors. Andrew Wiggins +2. We were waiting for this. I feel like he's been the second best player on the Warriors these last, I'd say, 4 weeks. Now the rating is representative of that. We have Buddy Hield -1, but still an 80 overall club member, which is where he belongs. And Moses Moody -1. For the Wizards, who have been on a losing streak, but they just won one the other night. Poole -1, which I don't know if I necessarily agree. I don't think this has been his fault at all. I think he's actually done a very good job statistically, but still. Malcolm Brogdon +2, now tied as the best player with all these 3 players. Kuzma -1, I'd argue probably even more. Coulibaly -1. The rookie Sarr goes +2. And Corey Kispert -1. Look, for the future, they might be okay, but right now, bad. Bad team. Okay, that is the roster update. Do you agree with 2K or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.